Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. My name is Robert. This is 7 Up and At It here on the Yeah I Said It show. Now, 7 Up and At It is a daily devotional where I'll focus on a particular verse of the Bible and I'll look at verses that precede it, verses that come after it. I'll also look at different translations so I can get a full understanding, a full context of what God is trying to tell us in that verse. Now, I video these because I feel we're all vessels to be used by God. And whatever God puts into each and every one of us, He expects us to pour it back out so that others can hear it, learn from it, be blessed by it, and have a closer walk with God. And finally, it's called 7 Up and At It because it's a thank you to my dad here on earth who used to come in and wake me up most mornings. It'd be 3 knocks on the door, and the door would open. And he would simply say, "It's 7 up and at it." And if you didn't, a glass of water was coming your way. So, uh, but now uh, today, my Father in heaven does the same thing, except he has me up at 6 to take care of the homestead. And once I've done that, my butt's in the seat no later than 7 o'clock, um, so I can start learning what he has for me in his word every day. And then I pass it on to you. Now, let's get into it. The verse today, there's several translations that I really liked because each of them had a particular word or phrasing that was encouraging. Uh, so I'm gonna read a couple of, maybe three. So maybe yeah, probably three of them. But it's from Luke chapter 8, verse 15. Okay, and this is the story, the parable of the sower. And I don't know if you've heard it before, or many. If you've ever went to vacation Bible school, I'm sure you've already heard this, but it's always good to hear it again, um, to edify us, to consecrate our relationship with God, and it may be something we've forgotten, so it's a good to learn it again. Okay, so let's start. This is the NIV, which is the New International Version. It says, "But the good seed, but the seed on good soil stands for those with a noble and good heart, who hear the word, retain it, and by persevering produce a crop." The New Living Translation says, "And the seeds that fell on the good ground, good soil, represent honest, good hearted people who hear the word, cling to it, and patiently produce a huge harvest." The last one is going to be the New American Standard. But the seed in the good soil, these are the ones who have heard the word with a good and virtuous heart, hold to it firmly, and produce fruit with perseverance. Some other verses say with patience. And so perseverance or patience, it all goes hand in. Those two are to me are synonyms. Okay, but we have to look at the full context in it as far as the parable of the sower. And in doing so, you have previous verses of it, but it talks about four kinds of soil. It talks about soil that is on top, that gets scattered on top of the walkway or the path, and what happens with that. Um, the, the 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 birds of the air will come and they will take it. Okay, and that represents a person who hears the word, but immediately Satan comes in and takes it away. And so that's on a path, a trampled path. Okay, because either you become trampled with Satan's bombardment, and or it gets stolen away from you. It gets perverted by Satan. The word does, and so it doesn't mean your thought pattern. It doesn't mean what it's supposed to mean because Satan has perverted it. Okay, and so you don't grasp it and take hold of it and become a member and a joint heir with Christ, um, as one of God's children. The other is on rocky soil. And in that, the rocky soil represents people who hear the word and hear it with joy. Um, but the word doesn't take root. And the reason it doesn't is because there's no soil. It's just rocks. Okay. Have you ever seen where a path or you've got a walkway um, or a stone or even concrete, and you got this one little branch that comes through, okay, and it starts to grow, a little sprig of grass or a weed, okay, and it can only grow so far before it's choked out because there's not enough soil there. It's not good soil. It's rocky, okay, and it can immediately be plucked out. So that's the rocky ground. Um, then you have seeds that are thrown into, where there's thorns, a thicket, and the problem there is, there's ground, but you've got so much covering. Okay, if you look at, well, in the woods, for instance, you don't see a whole lot of grass, and you can plant the seed there, but if it doesn't receive the sun, yeah, the sun, but also the Son that sits at the right hand of the Father. It doesn't receive the sun, okay, and the nutrients that it needs from the sun. It can't grow. It can't thrive. It can't produce fruit. And so that's whenever they talk about it being in thickets, that's what they're talking about. And then in this verse, we're focused on the good soil, somebody of good heart, of noble and honorable, and virtuous. And they hear it, they hear the word, and they grab and hold it firmly. Okay? They don't let it go. It's able to the word, which is the seed, is able to get in the soil. The roots are able to go deep and grab a hold of the soil firmly. And it all, you know, it's hard to remove it from that soil because they become almost one because of the roots. And it begins to produce fruit through the rain, the storms, um, the intense heat, okay, the intense pressure that may be on it. It still grows and produces great fruit. And that's who we're supposed to be. We as Christians, uh, who accept Jesus Christ for everything he did for us. And I always mention the torture because we want to sometimes we want to gloss over and just say, oh, he died on the cross. Yeah, he went to hell. Yeah, he went to the tomb, went to hell, and went to heaven to sit beside the Father. We don't mention everything that he went through. I mentioned in a previous video about the fact that he was God's only son. He was the only heir to God. And imagine related to a monarchy, okay? You have the king, and the king has a son. And he's the only son. But yet the king brings in a homeless child, adopts that child, and now that child becomes a joint heir with the prince, okay, with the original son, with the um, blood son. And the son, that son doesn't get angry. He doesn't get vengeful. Um, but he loves his brother, his adopted brother, as himself. See, we are those people. We are that adopted son or daughter And we need to be the good soil because God is feeding us His word. He's given us His word. He's given us His promises. And He's told us to learn His word and His way. Okay? To learn His way is to learn His word. Now, look, I am not a theologian. I am not pastor, preacher, teacher, or anywhere on the hierarchy of a church. And I'm not a PK. If you know what a PK is, a preacher's kid. I'm not any of those. And the reason being is because the reason I say that is because those individuals, they tend to be able to quote chapter and verse. You can tell them a story that's in the word, and they can tell you the chapter and verse. You can give them the chapter and verse, and they can quote it right like that. That's not me. I can't do that. I'm working on it, but I haven't gotten there yet. But in this, I want to be the good soil, and I pray that you want to be that good soil too. That is honest and upright and good-hearted and virtuous and noble and looks to that word as its sustenance, okay? As uh, its fruit is going to bear the fruit, okay? And working together with the word and being the seed and us being the soil, we're working together to produce fruit. And that fruit is something that will attract others to come to Christ. Folks, I've already gone over my time. I hope that blesses you. I hope you desire to be the good soil and to bring forth a plentiful harvest for God. So as always, if it's your first time watching us, first time coming to this channel, thank you so much. We appreciate you immensely. If this is not your first rodeo, and you've been here before, God bless you for coming back and looking at this video as well. But either way, first time or been here before, thank you so much. I pray this blesses you and that it causes you, motivates you to look at previous videos. But do me a favor, let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Give me a comment and let me know what you think about this word. If you think I'm missing it, let me know that. Because iron sharpens iron and steel sharpens steel. And only through that can we become closer, have a closer walk with God. Okay, I'm always wanting to learn. And if I make a mistake, I need to know it. So, folks, I hope you have a blessed day. And as always, remember, God blessed you to be a blessing to others. So today, go out and bless somebody else because that is what truly helps change this world. God bless you all. I hope you'll have a blessed day, like I said, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.